Hey there, SunakiVA here, and I apologize for the lack of uploads, but I hope that this one is a good makeup for it. Enjoy. God. What is a kitsune to do with no people to visit? So little time to be able to do anything anymore. Ah, I see a visitor. Perhaps I can be of assistance in getting them what they require. Hello there. You must be a weary traveler, I suppose. You are looking at me after I said that in a way that would discern that you are not a weary traveler, but you are instead just a traveler. What brings you to the temple of Sunaki? You've come to see the god himself, the Kitsune god known as Tsunaki. Well then, Ohayo gozaimasu. I am the one that you seek. It is a pleasure to meet you, human. I do not know your name, nor do I wish to learn it. I have learned too many names in my time, and most of them have been forgotten from my memory. I'm not going to get into it. It is rather painful, to say the least. But it is a pleasure to see another human being come down this path again. The last time that a human being came down this path, they asked me for directions to town. I managed to make a meal out of whatever they had in their backpack. No, I did not eat them. Kitsunes like us don't do that anymore. Nowadays, of course, with the rise of people wanting more pleasure out of life, rather than someone to talk to or ask for guidance and wisdom, us kitsunes have been reduced to simply being helpful advisors. I myself still manage to hold on to the practice of being the wise and knowledgeable kitsune. Ah, you pointed out my tails. It's a good thing that you did, because I was going to segue into that anyway. You may be wondering exactly why I only have 2. It is because I have not managed to reach the level of being required for 3. You see, each kitsune, when they are born into this world, are just like every other boy. Unfortunately, there are only a rare amount of female kitsunes. Some, sadly, have died off. In this region alone, I believe, there are only 5. The males, of course, there are 15. I being one of them. In total, there are 20 in this region. There are around 150 to 250 in Japan alone. Around the world, we are a small minority of people. We make up about 10% of the world's population. And by small, I mean quite a small population of people. We could make our own nation if we wanted, but I'm afraid that no kitsune from another part of the world would want to come here and start their own nation. There would be too many young people and elderly individuals in Japan, and there are already too many of them as is. Such wise old people Japan's population are. They actually care and take the time and consideration to talk with me. Oh, and yes, I speak multiple different languages. I speak Deutsch, Italiano, España, Ruski, and Japanese. But I mainly stay towards English. For some, because I know that a large population of the world has English as a second language, and first. But enough about me. Let us talk about you. Since you came this far, I would like to know your name. Where on earth did you come from, young one? Ah? You came from a faraway place, that's for sure. You didn't come from here. Based on your look and your outfit and the skin color that you have, you definitely haven't come from a region around here. Although, not to intrude, but might I add that wearing that type of t-shirt around here is one of those little touristy gimmicks that they get you with. It's like what I saw about 5 months ago. A tourist, I believe, from New York, clearly from their t-shirt, came and asked me for advice on how to win the lottery. I didn't have any advice for them. The lottery is rigged. Like most things in this increpid world, an ever-changing world full of corruption and greed. No wisdom or knowledge at all found in this world anymore. There used to be such, but it's all faded away now. And I am what's left of a dying race of individual put on this planet for a very reason. To satisfy the needs and whims of every man and woman out there. Oh, and don't mind the street dogs. They are here often. They scrounge for food, the poor things. But what was your name again? I'm sorry. Ah, what a very beautiful name indeed. Now, tell me, young one, what is it that you wish to seek? Do you wish to seek wisdom? Do you wish to seek guidance, knowledge on a certain topic, or do you wish me to help you with something? You do wish for me to help you. Well, perfect. What would you like me to help you with? Ah, a relationship, I see. Well, relationships are, as they say, quite tricky to deal with. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. Unless you know what you're doing, you're going to end up with colors of all different shades on all different sides of the cube, regardless of if you turned it left or right or up or down or sideways or slantways or any other way that you can think of. But I may be able to help you somewhat in that department. You see, I used to have a relationship with someone many eons ago, it feels like. There was a girl. Her name was Shiri. She was a beautiful person. Quite the charmer, I might say. And she had a way with words. She had a way of calming me down when I really needed it the most. Unfortunately for me, she had to move back to America. She had to go back to America. She was only staying here for about 2 weeks. But of course, I had to upgrade. So when I'm not in my normal form as you see here. I am in a sort of cloak state, a human form, if you will, that allows me to blend in with the people if I ever need to get something. And yes, I only have people worship me here. You see, just beyond the hill behind me, I live in a rather beautiful home. I don't live here in the temple. I used to. But it grew tiresome after a while, and the tatami mats just didn't really feel my style. And considering the fact that I have claws on my feet, I would often rip holes in the mats. And claws on my hands too. I would often rip and claw at the mats, and it would get quite uncomfortable to sleep. So I managed to invest in a bed. The townspeople, of course, made it for me. They made a lot of things here. This temple was made by them for me. You see, they worship me. I am what they know as a god. I hope and they pray for good things to happen to them, and if I see that they are worthy of it, perhaps, I gift them what they need and what they request or desire. You see, about 2 weeks ago there was a young teenager, about closer to the same age as you, probably a little bit older, and he wore street clothes that made him look like, oh, I don't know what you call those things, a gangster, if you will, but he was of a different color. Anywho, he wore these clothes and talked a certain way, and he was obviously from America based on his English, or based on his lesser-known knowledge of the English dictionary. And he came to me asking for advice on how to get rich. I simply told him that all he needed to do was give me a small offering by the end of the week, and I would try my best to come up with something for him. Well, about a week goes by, and he comes back, but with one of the worst offerings I've ever been given. Now, I'm not supposed to judge an offering. Of course, the occasional offering of fruit and money, or produce and food, or other types of food and money is very much well wanted. The young man in question got me a pair of flip-flops. I asked him for his name and where in the country that he was from, where he lived. He told me he lived in Brooklyn, New York. A typical place I had already known before. I had many people come from there. So I told him that I would accept his offering and that I would grant him a wish, and one wish only, and it would happen within 24 hours. Of course, after the wish, I overheard him saying, "I hope those flip-flops fit on your rather large feet." He didn't say rather large, he said big. And I don't know where on earth he managed to find size 16.5 sandals, flip-flops even, but they fit quite comfortably, so I was grateful for the gift. But the next day I found out from mentally connecting with the other side of the planet that he robbed a convenience store. So I visited him in the middle of the night. I scowled him while he was sleeping. He woke up in a scared doozy, an unbelievable sight. His eyes were wider than saucers, and I told him that he shouldn't mess with a kitsune. And do you know what he did? He did something that you are never supposed to do to a kitsune. he clipped a part of my Kitsune tails off with scissors. I yelped in pain and cursed him with bad luck for the rest of his life. Now come to think of it, it wasn't 5 months ago, it was 25 years ago. And he came crawling back to me about 5 days ago, before you came here. And he came to me and he said, "Oh Lord, Sunaki, please forgive me. Oh, Kitsune, Tsunaki, please forgive me for being rude to you. Please, I will give you back the clipping." Oh, dear Lord, look at the time. I was rambling on. I apologize. I will grant your wish in a week's time with an offering. Ta-ta. Well, it looks like that this video turned out really well. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.